Are we on? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Microphone check. Lights. Cameras. Hit me. This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
Jamming it up. I was jamming to the song. I was in the zone. Plantain chips. It's such a jam.
Jason is shocked.
Hey, Jason, are they on plantain chips?
Jason is shocked.
Jason.
Oh,
that's a jam. Hey, that's the entire plantain chips. Hey,
don't bring the chair.
The chair is fine. It was made for Lizzo and the rapper. What's her name?
Charlie.
Last night I mean the plantain chips. The plantain.
Lenny left the chat.
Lenny, delete the app. Now you keep leaving the rate at which you leave the chat. I don't know why I downloaded the app. Charlie, what's good? You know, fire for fire. What did the lady say? The lady called me something. The painful truth. Allah. That if like I get new album coming, that'd be the name.
I think your name was Lovia. Was that Lovia?
Yeah,
Lovia.
Charlie, Lovia. I hope you're having a lovely day. We're still here on Music TV's Culture Daily.
What has this person drunk?
No. Hey. I drank it. It's finished. That is why it is in terms of the paragods. You understand? Definitely. Charlie, we are live on Culture Daily. Stream Music TV Plus 89.9. You already know it's Tuesday. We're jamming here. We were with plantain chips. Now we are going into the hospital. It's a medical Tuesday where we discuss health, lifestyle, things that affect our health within our lifestyle, medicine, pharmaceuticals, and more. Now, Dr. Chris decided that he doesn't like us today, so it is what it is. In relationships, sometimes then Pascal. But regardless, love there. We found a new lover for today. Dr. Noble, welcome to the big conversation on 3 Music TV and on Plus. Let's put it out for Doc. Woo!
Thank you.
Doctor, welcome.
Thank you.
My name is Cyril. I'm the troublemaker here. That's why they put me here.
Cyril.
Yes. Yeah. Do you watch our show?
Yeah, I do.
Hey.
I follow you guys on.
What do you think?
You two look alike. Where's my eyes? Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
We'll treat your eye after the show. The doctor is here. You say you left the chat. Now you are outside the app shouting. Doc, now who can be?
Yeah. So I said I follow you guys on X as well.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Charlie,
much
like
love, much entertainment bits.
Oh, nice. Really, I will keep you entertained though, Charlie. Yeah. Dr. Noble, welcome to the Culture Squad, the big convo team. Myself, Lenny Lomote, as you can see, she just deleted the app. So far, who's deciding not to talk because she doesn't know where the app is. So, and then my brother Jason, who is in shock, who has been in shock since we sat there. I don't know what.
The way Jason is in shock.
He has been in shock. Yeah, Charlie. Now, if I'm acting crazy, it's totally normal because the conversation we are going to have today, there's a lot of craziness and crazy undertones to it. Now, I've not taken any, but for those of you, who have an idea, there's something on the craze. We hear it in rap songs, we see it in movies, we see it on social media. People use the word fentanyl, all sorts of other things, and we don't know what they are. But there's a class of drug that gathers all of them together, and today we're going to be exploring that class of drug, courtesy Dr. Noble, who's our in-house expert today, and we're going to be looking into opioids, what they are, the good, the bad, the ugly, and as usual, why human beings are abusing them. So straight into it, Doc, what are opioids?
Yeah, okay, so before we dive into the topic of opioids, I want us to dive into what it does. Yes, so the actual effect that it brings. So opioids, we have to look at pain. Pain is the main reason why opioid exists.
It causes pain or it manages pain?
It manages pain, yes. So for lack of better words, what I would say is pain is an unpleasant sensory or emotional experience that is due to actual or potential tissue damage. So basically for you to say that you have pain, that means that it has to be unpleasant, first of all. Then it has to
sadomasochist.
Exactly. Then it has to have some effect on you emotionally as well. So that means that you should feel it emotionally. Then we can say that you have pain. And with pain, usually you have to look at it from the biological perspective where it affects the body. Then we can also talk about the psycho and then the social. Yes, so when someone has a pain, usually the body is affected, and then we talk about the psycho, which is the brain. The brain is also affected. Then we come to the social life. So now they tend to not to interact properly socially.
We all manage pain. We take painkillers, as we call them, class of drugs. Are all painkillers opioids, and are all opioids painkillers?
No.
Okay.
So with painkillers, we have the opioids and then the non-opioids. Yes. So with the opioids, of course, we'll talk about it today. With the non-opioids, we can talk about analgesics like the acetaminophen, which is the normal paracetamol that we know. And then we can talk about the NSAIDs, which are also non-anti-inflammatory. Okay. So those are the ibuprofen, the aspirin, the diclofenacs. Those are also a class of, and they all treat pain in a way, or they all make sure they alleviate pain.
Okay, pain treatments like tramadol, like morphine, where do they fall?
So for tramadol and morphine, they fall under opioids. Yes. Okay. So with opioids, this is like an umbrella term given to substances that helps with a certain receptor in the body called the opioid receptors. So they tackle that specific one, and then they help that to alleviate pain. And so we can have the endogenous ones, which the body, God is good. It's actually made in such a way that the body has a way of relieving itself. That's why when you have an injury, first instance, the pain you feel is different from maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes, or even before you take any medication, because there are endogenous, neurons, or the endogenous neurons that helps to alleviate the pain before you even take the external one, which is the exogenous ones.
Is that what we attribute to shock? When something cuts you immediately for the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, shock comes in depending on the type of trauma or injury that you sustain, then the severity as well. Yeah, and shock has different areas, so we can talk about hypovolemic and all different ones.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
Between the acetaminophen and ibuprofen and then the opiums, when is let me see the question I'm coming to ask. I want to know when those ones are administered. Yeah, okay, because some people will just go straight for an opium because they feel like their pain is too much. And some people also go for that acetaminophen because that's what they know. So when do you administer what taste? That's sometimes.
Right. Okay. So with pain management, usually in our part of the world, especially, let me talk about Ghana because that is where we are. Usually in managing pain, we start from the least pain. So we start from the analgesics, which is the paracetamol, or we call it PMO for short, and then we build it upwards. But in some parts of the world, they start from the top, depending on how severe you came in with the pain. Yes, so for analgesics and then, let's say the PMO and then the ibuprofen, usually it's managed when it's used when you have mild to moderate pain. There are some pain that does not warrant you having opioids. You don't just start from there. So for opioids, you are looking at moderately severe to intensive pain where it becomes unbearable. I mean, we've given you paracetamol, we've given you ibuprofen. None of these ones seem to work. Then we can fall on opioids. So
opioids are really a niche treatment.
Yes.
How have they become so common? Is it that a lot of people are in so much pain?
I think one of the reasons is because of an effect that it has. So on the brain. So usually it has this euphoria effect where people, when you take it, you feel high, you feel good, as people say. That is another effect that it gives. And I think that is what has drawn a lot of the youth, as we see in Ghana and then most of the West African countries, to opioids. So it gives that kind of euphoria. It makes you feel good because it takes the pain off and then it gives you that feeling. Yes, because of there's this neurotransmitter called dopamine. So it displaces what we call the GABA, and then it brings dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that regulates your feelings, happy mood. When you're happy, it means that you have high levels of these neurotransmitters in your.
And is
the
dopamine itself addictive?
So dopamine is a neuro. So it depends. I mean, a simple chocolate can even
fire away.
Just make. I mean, a simple chocolate. If you eat chocolates, the role of dopamine is to make sure that you feel good after eating a normal chocolate. So anything that will act on it. So it sort of works with the GABA. It displaces it as and when you introduce a substance into the body, or it could be food or anything to the body.
So when the opium isn't attacking or fixing any pain, and someone takes it, like they don't have any pain and they take it, what happens to the body?
Yeah, so I mean, as I said, it gives that. So obviously, overdose of it or taking it when not needed, abuse of it is also going to cause. It's going to cause the the euphoria or the kind of feeling. It's the effect they get from it. And that's why I'm saying that the constant taking of it at some point will displace the GABA, because the GABA is supposed to make sure that if you have pain, a proper regulation of opioids. But if you take it as when you're not supposed to take it, it's usually because people want to feel, high, and also a nice sense of feeling because of dopamine effects.
With these medications, Doc, would you say that it should be restricted from being given over the counter, so that we don't just walk into a pharmacy and then we are given it without prescription? Because I think that's also a part of the problem, because then it's available to be bought without prescription. Right.
I think this is one of the main issues we are dealing with. Even with the hospital settings, it's not available to, the pharmacy. You need a prescription in-house. You need a prescription to be able to, for them to be able to administer opioids. And in some part of the world, usually you actually need even a doctor's prescription to be able to purchase it at the pharmacy. But when it comes to our part of the world, I think it's slightly different. Exactly. So we have some agencies, all the FDAs and all that has to come in and to make sure that there's proper regulation of these medication. And I think they are probably working towards it, looking at what happened, with the BBC documentary and all that. So I'm sure there are plans that is, in store for some of these things, because it's made available over the counter and anybody can go for it.
Yeah.
So I think there should be proper regulation, and that is what probably I'm sure they are probably working towards it.
How bad is it right now, though, in terms of the use of it? Because recently I was reading articles on addictions, and people have the craziest addiction. Addictions are, for lack of a better expression, I've seen what it's done to people, and addictions work in a crazy sense where what you're doing is not good, but you're still doing it. And I think everybody, to an extent, has an addiction to something. We all like something extremely more than something else. So with the growth rate and how this is being talked about more, so drugs and this opioid increase in terms of use, how bad is it? Is it getting worse? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, it's really getting worse. It's taking over our youth. And it's really taking, looking at this part of the world, most of the youths are redundant. Looking at lack of, socioeconomic issues, poverty and all that. And so usually some of them want to feel a sense of worth. They don't want to feel like they are not making it in life and all that. So they tend to fall on these opioids to feel better.
For the dopamine hit.
Yes. So that they feel good, they feel happy. So that it knocks off that kind of feeling where you feel worthless.
The guilt.
Right. So then they go, it's even some of the cough mixtures have it. Yeah. Yes, simple stuff. They have it. So they go, they know how they get it. And also through the illegal means, there are some illegal means where people bring in these medications through illegal means into the market, and then they sell them. And so that's how come they purchase them and then they use them.
What about side effects or negative effects of these opioids? So I'm not sick, I'm not in any pain, and I'm hitting these. Apart from the dopamine and the high, which is obviously why I keep going back, what is it? What else is it damaging on me?
And so what a lot of people don't know is that it has a lot of effects. With ranging from normal nausea and vomiting to death being the highest.
That's right.
That's the most it can happen to you.
Lovely.
Yes. So with nausea and vomiting, it's just normal symptoms that you feel. And then what it does is that there's a part in your brain called the respiratory center. So that regulates. I mean, the reason why we are all sitting here and we are breathing is because of a certain part in our brain.
That's focused on.
Yes, called the respiratory center. So what opioids does is that it suppresses that center. So it goes and then it displaces it, and then it suppresses it. So you realize that the person becomes breathless. Person cannot breathe. And most of the times, their inability to reach a health facility will lead to them dying. And usually when they come to the hospital and you run a test, you realize that they were on opioids. And the death aspect, as I've explained, is because of the fact that the respiratory center, which is, we need air to survive. So of course, if your respiratory center is being suppressed, that is inevitable.
I watched a documentary where people of fentanyl, where they call it the zombie scream or whatever. They are there and
yeah,
that's
they
were suffocating
and
themselves.
they die straight after that.
Yeah,
no, just he wasn't breathing.
It's a constant suppression.
You stop breathing and then the thing kicks in again and
you take a breath and then you go back.
Charlie.
It's that lethal. It's really, I don't know why people play with it, but
the documentary I saw, some people even go brain dead, like their brain.
Because if there's deprivation of oxygen to your brain, you'll be brain dead.
Yeah.
And obviously, that will be the end of you.
I mean, I want to talk about withdrawal.
Yeah.
How far would a person have to go with these opiums for it to be impossible for them to come back? And when they decide to repent, what are some of the ways to get back to normalcy?
So with regards to withdrawal, obviously when you get into a state of withdrawal, it means that there has been an overuse or an abuse of opioids. So then it makes it hard for you to move away from it. So all the time. And the reason is not because they can't stop, but it's the effect they get. We call it the withdrawal syndrome. So some of them get to have lethargies, they tend to have all sort of funny feelings where they don't like. So in order for me not to feel that way, I have to still go on these medications. And so usually there are antidotes to that. We have naloxone. It's also an opioid, but what it does is that it also goes and then it displaces off all the other ones, and then it gives a positive impact. But usually you have to come to the hospital where you be managed, and then we can also recommend other adjuvant therapies like if we have to deal with depression, we'll look at giving you antidepressants. If you have to look at making sure you go for swimming. I mean, sort of certain activities like the cure
for drug addiction is another drug addiction.
It's a whole complex
journey.
How long can it take for someone to bounce back?
It depends. It varies from individual to individual and how deep you've gone into it.
What are the symptoms of withdrawal?
So as I said, you can have insomnia, where lack of sleep, can't sleep, you are restless, you see their eyes, twitching and all that. And they tend to also have constipation, they tend to have, this motility, we call it this motility. Because God. One of the receptors of opioids acts on the GIT, which is the gut. So it causes this motility. So you are not able to pass through. So all these
intestinal tract.
Yes.
Going through all this at the same time?
Yeah.
At the same time.
That's what I'm saying. It depends on how deep you've gone into it. So if you have somebody that has really gone deep into it, you have all these things.
That's why they are there and they'll shout.
Exactly.
Because you can't sleep, you can't toilet, nothing.
It's a lot.
No, he said
Yes.
So there's a lot going on.
We are on radio interview. I'll tell you the other word later.
That's a lot for one person to be going.
But this is serious.
So there's a lot going on for one person. So the person ends up, because the person doesn't want to feel this way. It's so much discomfort. So they end up having to fall back again.
So should we, these kinds of conversations, right? Should we look at it first of all from the social point of view before the biological? Not to say one is more important than the other, but there are rich, successful people who are abusing these drugs.
Yeah.
There are poor, deprived people who are abusing these drugs. People
Do you know
All
what?
facets.
Do you know what the difference is?
What's the difference?
It's like the same problem with. It's part of the reason why America has been fighting with cocaine for as long as possible. Like he said, it's to solve your problem. If I am a rich billionaire with my cars and my private jet and all the supermodels and all the money in the world, my stress and my problem is totally different from you sleeping.
Exactly,
homeless.
that's true.
So when we are both taking drugs,
For different
I'm
purpose.
taking a very small. It could be just for Friday stress, But you take a wheelbarrow. Because your
You ain't no get money.
your problem is you
Always
understand.
them. Like, always
Your
them.
problem.
So exactly what he's saying, it comes back to my question, is everybody, if you're not careful, can fall into these addictions. So how would you advise these conversations are tackled?
Yeah, so I feel like we should throw more light on it. There should be more education on it, like a platform like this, as we are talking about it. I mean, those that will have opportunity to listen to are listening to it and watching. So such platforms can also help, where we educate them about some of the effects, I mean, the wild effect of it and all that. Because with socio-economic issues, we can't solve all the problems.
Yeah.
You cannot solve everyone's problem. If you are poor, we can't come and alleviate everyone that is poor. So we just have to educate them on some of the effects, and also work on the avenues that brings these medications in, and also put up certain regulations, like making sure that purchasing some of these medications at a pharmacy, you need a prescription from a doctor.
Not to put a blame game, but if the hospital system itself even has these many hurdles in accessing the opioids, how is a homeless, jobless drug addict able to get that consistent supply in those quantities?
Yeah, so that's why I've been mentioned of the illegal means of transporting these medications into our market space.
Smuggling.
They are smuggling them into our market space, and there are middlemen that are making sure that they sort of supply these medications
Like
to
the BBC
people.
video.
Yes, exactly. That's very case in point. Yeah.
Okay. I also want to talk about people who are either related to or are in the same environment with people who are abusing drugs like these, because unfortunately last year a friend of ours passed, a neighborhood friend. Everybody tried, really. I'm not even going to lie. From me, his friends, his family, my mom, everybody. But at a point the person didn't want to come back, and if we want to be honest,
He couldn't sleep, he couldn't toilet.
Don't do that. The person has died. Relax. No, don't do that.
I'm the bad guy. My bad.
We tried. Everyone tried. But if we want to be honest, we all have lives, to figure out. Everybody's going through their own business.
Charlie.
But how do you help out someone like that, especially when they are beyond saving themselves? You can see this person. I don't want to mention his name, but he couldn't save himself. Someone had to do it for him. I think they took him to rehab, but he ran away. And even the people there didn't want to have him there. And so what are some of the things that we can do to help people like this?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said it's a whole complex cascade where, as you said, you're trying everything possible to help this person, but a person is not yielding to it. So, I mean, setting up social groups can help, where, I mean, you have people that probably have been successful with coming out of it, going and educating these people, talking to them about it. Because sometimes it really becomes very difficult, especially in terms of family-wise, where, I mean, you have someone like that in your family and you have to take care of this person. It becomes very difficult because you need to throw more money at the person, making sure they have the adequate. I mean, in our part of the world, it's really difficult managing it, but in some part of the world, they have rehabilitations where proper things are being done to make sure they manage them. They take them because you cannot take out a habit without replacing it with another.
The healthy one.
Exactly. So you have to make sure that as you are taking out something, you are also replacing it, because as you know, nature abhors vacuum. So in some parts of the world, with a rehab, they sort of give them certain recreational stuff to fall on. I mean, there are other jobs they do at the rehab just to make sure that it takes their mind off some of these things. And it seems to work, but we don't have it here. And I think that is what is contributing to the difficulty in managing such people.
Scale of 1 to 10. How possible is it to recover from being an opioid addict?
It's possible.
I know.
Yeah.
Scale of 1 to 10. Scale of 1 to 10. Like, I mean, because, we also say rehab. Oh, just stop. Rehab. And then, because we are the ones who are quote unquote okay and are supposed to guide this person. If we don't know the difficulty at hand, we might also undermine or underlook the task. So it's just like, Kweku Jai. And then you go and live your life, and you think Kweku should know better because you are on a different plane. But if I know that, like she's saying, she said they spoke to him and blah, blah, blah. Right. Maybe their efforts, I'm not blaming, I'm just using the example. Maybe the efforts should have been 90 over 100. But everybody is busy with their own life and doing everything. So everybody gave 50 and left the rest, and Jesus take the wheel. That's what we see a lot. And we see it in our psychiatric units. We see it by the side of the road. We all have that one person we went to school with, which you hear about. We've all had that. We musicians every day on TV, Ghana, everywhere. So it's like we, the people who are on the outside, who are supposed to help these people, I say in TRC, the weight of what it means to help somebody break drug addiction. That's why I want, from a medical standpoint, how hard is it?
So for instance, with the scenario you created about a rich man going for little, such a person, I'll give the person a 9 or a 10, making sure you're bringing such a person out of that habit.
As a 9 being good, like
yes, good.
Okay.
So that's a good prognosis. Okay. Yes, because
the dependency is low.
Exactly, and with a poor person that is deep into it, you're looking at about a 3 or 4. Even with that one, it's really difficult because of our setting. But if they should get proper treatment and all that, they can move.
You see the way everybody say ARA because everybody thought it was easy.
Crazy.
It's not easy.
So now rehab is expensive.
Yes.
You'd have to.
Compared to the funeral?
Stop it.
I'm asking realistic questions.
No.
The painful truth. Listen, when the person when the person drop dead, your loved one,
that may be cheaper.
From mortuary to
also because you not invite anybody.
Yes. You
this
just
person I'm talking about, they literally did a very small. They didn't call any of us. They just told us they buried him.
The person didn't even live with dignity. You don't have to bury him with dignity. No problem.
Yeah, you see, that's the point. I think that sometimes when they go off this way with the addictions and stuff like that,
it's shameful.
Yes, and then it's a lot of pain and hurt, and it's heavy for the people that are around them, right? So should they pass? It's not a time to now come and celebrate. It's not like they've lived a glorious life that you are now coming to go through the whole burying rites or befitting burial type of thing, right? So that may probably be cheaper than
because it falls on us to help them.
Yes,
the problem cannot be solved by those suffering it.
You see,
so I just want us to know that
we also play a role.
We play even more important role than the drug dealer.
No, we do play a role, Cyril. But even though some of them do not want to be helped, right? Because sometimes if you have a good support system, if you have good people around you, they will want to reach out. They will want to lend a helping hand. But sometimes the people don't want to be helped, right? You can take people. Essie just said that.
Literally, the person was take him home. He was still run away and went by rehab.
But sometimes I also feel like it's also about. We've talked about the aspect where there's illegal means of smuggling. I also feel like the aspect that we also need to look at is the stigma aspect, where we tend to look down on these people, and some of them they shy away from social gatherings.
Is it shame? I mean, the stigma, does it fall in shame?
Yes.
Like talking about, say,
exactly.
Just sorry to cut you, but for an example, someone telling they have an X-rated, can I say that word on the P word? A corn addiction.
Yeah.
Right? This is not going to be an easy thing to talk about.
That's what I'm saying.
So like, you're going deeper and deeper because I feel like a lot of them actually want to get out, but it's like the will to voice it out
is a problem because they know that they'll be judged. Yeah, and from our society, so they tend to hide.
And we also do that very well. We judge very well.
We judge.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, when you see the
judge.
person drowsy and all that, obviously you would tend to already about them or something. So you say, and all that. Of which that is not the kind of, you need to show them love, and that's the only way. Some of the ways that I can.
I'm sounding controversial on purpose because we have the solution.
I agree.
And if we are misinformed or have a bias, then it's
a problem. You can't
doomed.
solve it. Yeah.
For me, saving anybody doesn't have a price tag. Me personally. If you really want to save somebody, and you have to put a hurdle in front of yourself but it is expensive. You are saving a life.
Yeah.
It's either you are interested in saving the life or you are not.
Yes.
But if you put financial value, and I'm not saying that go and disenfranchise yourself to save a person, but if the person's death is going to make you cry and you are going to look back and say, then you should have jumped off the cliff for that person. Or you are not, families cut people off, people send people to prayer camps and blah, blah, blah. And that's your guilt to deal with. Right? I'm not encouraging any of that.
Yeah.
But if it's like we are half invested in helping.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
What's jumping off the cliff? Because everybody's going to be different. Maybe you have the money, maybe she has the time.
That's what I'm saying, that you decided, me deciding to help Jason of whatever, I must be as addicted and committed to that
To helping.
as you are to the problem. Do you understand? If you are going to climb the second story and jump and sneak out at night and blah blah, I cannot go to bed and go and watch Netflix and relax and be snoring, thinking that because I spoke to you at 7 p.m. you will stay till daybreak. That means every 2 hours I'm up. I'm checking on you.
Yeah,
I see you scratching. I'm just trying to show the commitment needed.
It's
because
really a difficult task.
So that the moment we say we want to help somebody, you see, we see. I don't want to use the artist's name, but it's one of our early 2000s superstars that I've seen him come in the news every 2 years. It was getting better, and he has realized it was getting better because, I don't know who's taking care of him or whatever, but I think the commitment needs to be. You see, Bruno Mars. I can mention Bruno Mars. I don't know him anyway. Bruno Mars, the fee vanished 3 years. Drop music because he's in rehab.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about Bruno Mars and his cocaine and his drugs because he vanished 3 years. That's the commitment and the investment they put, and they put people to watch him for 3 years till he cleans up. Then he drops one album. Then the moment he drops one album, they leave him again. Right? And then he vanishes for another 2 years. What's the head of Bruno Mars? His disappearances are because of drugs.
Well, he's back now.
Yeah.
He's back now. After the album, you get what I'm saying?
So it really evolves a lot.
I really want you to speak to that from a medical distance. Let people understand that Juma.
Oh yeah. I mean, I agree with you. Yes, I agree with you because it's aside the money aspect, you need time for this person constantly. Because imagine somebody coming to you almost every day saying that, you said we should buy this medication. The medication is finished. We need to buy this. We need to buy that. We need to put this thing here. We need to do that. We are relocating him. They are all money.
Cost, yeah.
They are costs. So some way, some other. If you cannot, sort of commit to that, then it becomes a problem for you. Because you also have other tax and other social responsibilities that you have to take care of.
But do we have social groups in Ghana? Where we're all facing the same problem. Let's sit down and I don't know, but I feel like that would really, really help.
I think they are, but they are not loud enough. Yes, they are not loud enough.
Let me
for
you,
different
because
there are cancer groups that I know of.
And you see, cancer is different. Drug addiction. We are talking about something that I'm ashamed of. Even when I'm falling down, I'm telling you I'm okay.
I'm okay. Yeah.
Do you really think?
No, but if we're going through the same thing,
no,
wouldn't it help?
Because there are some people who are even going to be in the same group who are getting better.
Yes.
They'll forget that that's where they're coming from. They'll be judgmental.
Why are you listening to the drug addict? I'm serious.
No, it's a social group.
Lenny, if you were blasted on opioids and then we finally got you home, I will indulge and listen to you and empathize. But I won't trust you to tell me that the light is on.
No, but wait. She's gone through it though.
Yeah. No, but you see, the thing is, the caregiver or the person trying to help an addict off it needs to be even more circumspect and critical than ever. If you are willing to take the word of the person who was just blasted on the main road,
But do you think that person,
you are not doing it.
My thing is, right? Do you think that person would understand it as much?
Yeah, I get what you're talking
Which person?
about.
Yeah.
Like
Someone
the person who went through
who has
it.
never
So I'm a
been
drug
through
addict,
it.
right? And I've recovered.
Well done.
Lenny's going.
And I'm
You
probably the one
kind of
going
set
through
yourself
it, right?
up with
Now
that one.
Lenny's going through it,
Yeah.
and I see where she's going. Maybe she's not even where I was, right? But it's getting deeper and deeper. Aren't I one of the best people? I mean, doctor, of course, he knows all these things. Aren't I also one of the best people for Lenny to talk to?
Yeah, so I mean, for encouragement's sake, because especially if she sees you in a very good shape, neatly dressed, and it's like your coherence and everything is intact, they sort of, I mean, research has proven that it helps. It
Yeah, I
helps
feel like-
with
yeah,
the
we
recovery. So not for them to come and advise them, of course not, because there are people that are being trained for some of these things. But the fact that they are there and they could see
And
that
share experiences.
exactly and share experiences of how they went
there's
through
light
this
at the
and
end
now
of the
they are.
tunnel.
But that takes
There's
me
hope.
back to what I was saying, sharing experiences. Because the reason why a lot of people don't like to say it, but the reason why a lot of people don't go to therapy is because they don't really trust the therapist
The next
because of
person.
how they chat with their friends. Because if I worked in a hospital, and you would be the best to tell us about this, where I was having a conversation with my friend, and she was like, "I really want to go to therapy, but what if the doctor knows someone who knows me and is talking about that?" She's like, "Oh, this patient even came and had this problem. They might not mention my name, but if you know my problem and the person, it means that you would also know that it's me."
And it's done a lot.
It's-
And it will
Therapists,
give me
counselors,
more
pastors.
information. So
That's
I wouldn't
really
want to
good.
open up.
So it's difficult to trust them.
Yeah.
that
This
is
is very
the
common.
the secular part of it. But for our job, patient confidentiality is really paramount, and that's what we really found on talking about patient situation to people, not even some of your colleagues, depending on the case. So usually, the cases that comes, it stays at the hospital. It doesn't go anywhere. So patient confidence, because if you are caught, I mean, the patient sees that you are
be
spreading
sued. The
there,
hospital
you can be
can be
sued
sued, yeah.
and all that. So there are medical legal issues in there. So
I think social
I-
groups are one of the best.
Yeah.
though.
yeah.
I don't know. I just
Look,
feel like
I think
They help.
at a point
Yeah,
you have
they
to
help.
just ask yourself that, are you more concerned about the image of you or the reality of you?
Unfortunately, some people
Yeah.
would.
Yeah,
so it
because
depends.
if will Lenny find out that is me and I can't sleep, I can't toilet. My house, and I'm
Charlie.
worried. and
Charlie.
I'm worried
Charlie.
about if Lenny will know it's me. Then you get what I'm saying?
serious.
I'm not serious at all with anything I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I think it gets to a point where and this is also, we are saying this with quote unquote sane minds. But if I'm a drug addict, I'm not going to do this analysis. So that's where peers and support systems come to play. Where we say, "Oh, AC, it's okay. You let's go. Nobody will know. It's just me and you. We are together." Blah blah blah. That's why it's always, if you notice, there's always that one person who can either be an enabler towards the process or an enabler towards the problem. So that's what I'm saying. That when you commit to helping somebody, that's your new best friend.
Yeah. Because they start from there. I mean, peer pressure and all that. So that is safe. We need to go back
It's easy
there.
to bond. Yeah.
We need to go back to where most of the things are.
I think
because
people
peer
should add
pressure.
prayer
So
too,
they're
man.
saying people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like just pray.
Oh
bro.
yeah,
That's
that
very
is
important.
so. I mean, you
That
can't take the
aspect.
Bro,
religious
like, see, I've
aspect
seen
of it.
stuff, and I've seen people who've like been down and went to God, and it works.
I mean,
like,
for so many, even in the hospital, some of
It
the
works.
cases,
it works, man.
even when you go to the
anybody
theater,
listening,
you have
please.
to pray.
Yeah.
Because there are some cases that will present
Important.
to you that this one is, you've learned medicine, but this one,
They
unless
say,
God
they say
comes
man
in.
medicates and God heals.
Yes, so unless God
Yeah,
comes in.
man.
So the God aspect, I really agree.
Yeah, but I'm also stepping on all your toes that part of the reason why we have so many people.
Come to spoil the table.
Yeah,
Turn it up.
part of the reason why. No, but doctor will
go on,
confirm.
go
Part of the reason why. Yeah. Don't worry. Painful truth. Part of the reason why a lot of our causes fall flat and don't succeed is because we grow an over reliance on faith. Where even when faith has moved the mountain for you to walk the path, you are still standing there
Waiting for faith.
waiting for faith. So the problem is not that religion is bad, But religion in itself has been referred to as the opium of the masses.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because the tendency to be over-dependent and over-reliant.
Especially in this
part of the world where you relinquish your human effort is 1,000%.
Yeah.
So as much as you are praying, that's what I
always say. I always say that
your car.
religion is not a substitute for work. I mean, if you need to put in the work, put in the work, where you have to put in God. So you don't substitute it for anything.
You're not putting in the work.
I'm not putting in the work.
So
if it was faith, I come up, say, but you know, let us leave it there.
So they all work hand in hand to make sure that we arrive at.
I've seen so much reliance on religion. That's why I personally know people who have had drug-related issues, and you did not go sorry. I'm like, sister.
Or even in our setting, before they come, they have
delayed in all the churches. Yeah.
Taking the person to a camp, you ask them, so that camp, they said there's a pastor. We are not saying don't go to these places, you see, but do what is needful. As I said, don't substitute that for the fact that you need to come for the medical treatment. Because by the time they get there, the whole case, you can't even do anything about it.
Yeah.
Man, it's sad, man. I mean, I'm sure there are people listening who probably lost someone, who knows someone, and to everybody listen, this might be uncomfortable, but just imagine like the person you love the most going through an addiction, going through a problem that they're trying to get themselves out of. Bruh, can't even think about it, man. Like I can't even imagine it.
Yeah, and a lot of people also, all of us, we've been raised and conditioned to see discomfort as a negative.
Yeah.
But discomfort is one of the few characteristics of change.
Right.
And if you are able to separate pleasure from progress and discomfort from pain, you'll understand the world a lot. Because anything that you really want that is entrenched in greatness and a greater possible future will test you.
Yeah, it will.
And if you don't go through discomfort through that test, you will not have that heaven. But anything that forces you into pleasure momentarily is denying you that struggle towards what you want. So we've conditioned ourselves that it's hard, so it must not be good. And that's a lot of reason that pushes people into drugs and into a substance addiction, whether it's alcohol, whether it's corn addiction, whether it's whatever. A lot of people think it is hard. It's justification to digress and go and do something. But it is hard. It's a sign that you are in the race.
Yeah.
Go and ask Usain Bolt. You understand? Go and ask Serena Williams. Go ask any great Cristiano Ronaldo who wakes up today at 4 a.m. to be gymming. It is hard is why he is great. If it was not, it is hard.
Yeah.
Right? You'll be like me on the pitch. You understand? Because my money is not
but
hard.
you try.
But maybe I will know.
Try.
You see, but you see, if you put me on the pitch with Cristiano Ronaldo, that's when you do. So that's what I'm saying. The extent to which you want to be great is a direct measure of how much you are willing to tolerate.
Sacrifice. Right?
You understand? That's why every time we eat food and sugars, get trapped between our teeth, leading to tooth decay, gum disease, and in some cases, foul breath. Brushing our teeth every morning and night is critical, with Pepsodent telling us that and offering us Pepsodent charcoal and Pepsodent herbal toothpaste to take away all the yawa. Now, Pepsodent charcoal is a blend of fluoride, natural charcoal, lemon, mint, and zinc to whiten our teeth, strengthen them, and remove bad odor for our mouth. Charcoal white gently polishes away any tooth stains and naturally restores our bright smile. Now, always remember to brush your teeth in the morning, whether you're using Pepsodent charcoal or herbal. Herbal has green tea, herbal extracts, and a fine blend of mint to give you that cool, soothing sensation while it helps repairs and protects gum tissue. Now, Pepsodent has been doing this for 25 years with the Ghana Dental Association, helping us keep our dental hygiene in order. You can call Pepsodent toll-free. None of your credits will go. 0800-161-000, 0800-161-000. That is the number to call toll-free and speak to a dentist free of charge. Pepsodent says every smile matters. Now, if you're also looking for the best value, data, and voice offers, tailored for your unique needs, then Telecel is the answer. Telecel, they understand everyone has their own preferences. That's why we have the unbeatable made-for-me bundles made just for you. Now, made-for-me bundles are affordable, customized data bundles and voice packages personalized for each one of us. Now, just dial *530# or download the Telecel Play app to subscribe to the special made-for-me bundles. Telecel, connecting energies. My bills have been paid. Any other bills?
Yes,
Any
of
bills?
course, of course.
You don't talk money. You don't talk money. Go on.
Lenny, Thrive.
Bang & Olufsen's
I'm addicted to
atelier.
you. Take me to rehab.
Well, experience sound like never before for those who love sound and the sound devices so much. Experience sound like never before with Bang & Olufsen's atelier, where you become a part of the craft. Design your own bespoke audio masterpiece or select from exclusive creations tailored to your own style. Whether it's a speaker that seamlessly fits your space or a statement piece that turns heads. If you can imagine it, you can hear it. Okay, discover more with Bang & Olufsen at our shop at Atlantic Towers. This is at Airport City, Accra. Bang & Olufsen Atelier. You dream it, we craft it. You can call 0201 694341, 0201 694341 and grab yours today. Another thing you should be grabbing is your Cleanse Hand Soap, okay? This protects you from 99.9% of germs and is good for your hand washing moments throughout the day. It comes in strawberry, aloe vera, vanilla and honey, antibacterial or chocolate. So you can grab one for your friends, for yourself, for your family as well. Remember to stay clean with Cleanse. The GC brand is all about you.
Yep, still here on 3 Music TV Plus 89.9. Name is Serial. We've had a great conversation with Dr. Noble here talking about opioids, addiction, where we get them, the real use and intent of it, and how we've turned it into a disaster for ourselves. But God's so good, we've understood how we can also fight it and help those who we know who are facing this challenge to find the light and come into a better path. Doc, thank you very much for being our resource for today and bringing your charming, well-informed self into our studio. It's been a jam and we definitely did enjoy it. I'm shouting out and signing out on behalf of Lenny, AC, Jason, and myself. It's Culture Daily. This is The Culture, and we out. Peace.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Culture Daily was brought to you by Telecel.